Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at Quick. That pun was intended because obviously I say quick look almost every single video, but the whole point here is to essentially understand what's going on with big picture best practice. We're going to take a look at some key level supports and resistances. I can see one right here, pretty clear as day. And we'll go ahead and pull up some Fibonacci retracement levels as well, kind of see roughly what's going on here. And if you are new to the channel, keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, right? I just love to teach people to trade. Been doing this for a very long time, and I can tell you that it brings me great joy to be able to help traders become better traders. It's simply put. All right, so again, if you want to become a better trader, CryptoCash.tech is a homepage here. You can register for my Trading Academy community and Signal group. We got a lot of awesome traders there as well. Also, a quick favor too, if you could help us grow our Twitter. We're trying to get this up and running here. Fairly new to the game, but we've been posting a lot of good technical and fundamental data here, and that is coming good, 20 to 40 tweets per day. So make sure to enable your alarms or your notifications and essentially stay in the know. Help us help you, right? So again, cool stuff there. Be sure to check that out. All right, so what we're looking at here with Quick. First of all, this is one of my community members had asked for me to cover this. I can totally see why, because it does look like it's very much switching gears, okay? It's found its tentative bottom, and what I mean by tentative bottom is just that this previous support level, or previous resistance rather, is now turned support, okay? So you can kind of see how it had a very difficult time passing this level here. It looks like that's roughly about 68, maybe just say $69 if you were to round up a little bit, but 68.7 technically. That is right there at that support level here. So good news is the price shouldn't come any lower from here, okay? So congrats to anyone who bought that dip. You're looking at being up about 18%. That being said, how much higher could this go? Well, we're working our way up the Fibonacci retracement levels. We'll go ahead and see, I would say the most recent high, or where you could essentially see the next high, is at $92. It'll probably go further than that, but again, we'll check on a few other things too to kind of see what's going on. Let's go ahead and reference some of those things here. First of all, this is the reason why it could very well go higher. We got a strong MACD convergence for the first time in quite a while. Hasn't converged in ages, and if you take a look at the last time it converged, of course, it cranked up pretty significant. Now keep in mind that was a pump and a dump, for lack of better terms, and oftentimes when you see that, it'll come down to the halfway point on Fibonacci retracement, which is right there at this consolidation point. Okay, so it consolidating at halfway for a little while. Same thing could be said about yesterday's pump as well, right? You could say that it consolidates halfway, which it technically did. It pulled back, but today's volume, if you look at the volume here today, it's pretty high. Okay, so we have continued volume after a pump, which is uncommon characteristic, because if you look at this back here, massive increase in volume, and the volume actually dissipated the day after. This one here, if we look at it here today, you can see pretty clear that we have more volume today than we did yesterday. And that's a great sign with that, how large that candle wick was, okay? So this is something that kind of tells us that the continuation should continue, and that we are definitely not done running here just yet, okay? So MACD convergence, increased volume, RSI is up over 50 right now for the moment. We see a large amount of money flow into this coin. So all great things overall in the sense of things. Okay, we can keep in mind Bollinger Bands are starting to decompress here, so we are looking at a potential divergence there, but I put a lot more weight on MACD than I would the Bollinger Bands, at least on larger time frames. Taking a look here at the 4 hour. So what we want to look at here on the 4 hour is a few things. First of all, simple moving averages. We're getting rejected by the 200-day SMA for the moment. That is notoriously 50-day SMA on the daily, and that's a strong rejection point. In most cases, that's kind of a trend setter. So we can get a closure above that level. I think we can close today above 83. That'd be a significant sign that the price is going to continue higher. Okay, so keep in mind, we're looking pretty good here for Quick in that regard. We're still converging the MACD. We're retesting 70 in the RSI consistently, and we are overextended here on the Bollinger Band. So in truth, in the short amount of time frame here that we are at, we can see that we are overextended, and a pullback would make sense. Okay, so again, running all the way up through a 9, that really implies we've seen at least 36 hours of continuation in the last day and a half of trading, right? It has to pull back a little bit before it legs up again. It's rare for it to continue to run. Now, don't get me wrong, Bitcoin ran recently here as well. There's some strength in the market, things can happen. But statistically speaking, we are due for a pullback, and that pullback should occur somewhere in the range of this halfway point on Fibonacci between 77 and 80, okay? So I'm not saying it's going to necessarily yank back. If it just say it consolidates right here, for example, then we're probably going to see a leg up in the near future, but it would make a lot more sense for the price to come up here, establish a higher low, and then continue higher. That's a much more healthier continuation pattern. That's what I'd be looking for. So me personally, maybe I'll set like an alert here somewhere in the 79 mark, kind of see if it pulls back to that level. We can go ahead and potentially consider a long position there. Okay, so again, that's just kind of how I like to do it. I don't like to just jump right in because it feels right or it looks good. There's a lot of different things here, and so far, even though we are bullish in the overall sense of things, I'd much rather take that pullback and buy the dip if it were to occur. But you can see this on the hourly. Keep this in mind. It may not even pull back at all. You can see higher lows being established, and so far, higher highs. Okay, so this next high breaches this level here, then we're in pretty good shape for a nice run up. That would be a case in point where I'd want to add to my position or consider taking a long position, is if we break and establish higher highs. But if this continues to go like it is right now, we will inevitably see a breakout to the upside. So I'm going to pay attention to this and kind of see what's going on. In fact, I do send these frequent updates through Twitter daily, so keep that in mind. Make sure you set your alerts for notifications are on. But simply put here, there's a great chance we're going to be able to see this continue to work itself into this wedge pattern and break out. It's common for the price to break up than it would down in this regard because it retests that resistance level multiple times while concurrently establishing higher lows. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Cool, very good stuff. Very last thing we want to take a quick look at would be the Ichimoku cloud. We're above the cloud. Lagging span soon intersect with the price action, so that's a case in point where you may want to consider taking some profit. If we do end up closing, just say like this here, for example, we'd want to reevaluate and consider where it could go from there. That's why I have that alert set, so I can kind of look at it later. I'm not just going to jump in because I set the alert. I'm going to continue to reevaluate at that time and see where we're at. Because if we do close at that level, that would be closing below the cloud, and that would be disadvantageous because we'd be establishing parallel lows and or lower lows, and that's not really a sign to go long. Okay, again, the whole point of being a good trader is to be, well, have patience and be, use good risk tolerance, but you also got to make sure you establish and understand consistently reevaluating things, and not just kind of go with these, what people might refer to as a hunch, because those don't really help us too much. Keep in mind there's a lot of market manipulation in there in the market right now. I mean, you take a look at Bitcoin from yesterday, my goodness, it took off and it dumped in like an hour, almost 10% correction. So crazy things can happen, and you just want to be cautious and careful. So protect your investment, take profits when you still can. If you're profitable right now, it wouldn't be terrible to consider taking some profits, let the rest ride. That's usually how I like to do it. But all in all, at this point, I think we're looking at a position where this coin should continue to retest this resistance range right here at about 84.5, and we'll see essentially what that looks like. So I'm excited to cover this one again here soon. All right, thanks again so much for joining me here. Hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Once again, thank you so much for all the people that have helped us build our Twitter community. Be sure to jump on in over here. We got some really awesome stuff. I even have this question here to my community. What would you rather do with your diversification? I know it's difficult to say, but I have a little recommendation that I like to look at. I'm curious what yours are too. So jump on in there, check it out, let us know. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you soon.